welcome back to my channel. I have another reaction video. I got a couple of inboxes on what I should watch. So I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's do this, y'all. Let's do this. But before we do, a couple of key things. Yes, I did a couple of videos in one because I wanted to be like busting them out. I want to bust them out. And not only that, I don't care. Judge me if you want to. Judge me if you want to. I don't care. And then second thing is, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share, comment, and like. Send me some posts and some things you want me to react to. It can be anything. Horror, comedy, anything. Hit me up. Y'all know on my description box, I always post my Instagram. And I have my Patreon, which is brand new. I would like to get that rolling. So if y'all want to get to know me even more, hit up the Patreon. I will be putting private stuff in there, but I can't post that on YouTube because they'll ban me. So if y'all want to know more, hit that Patreon up. Let's be even close buddies and go from there. But anyway, because I'm doing a lot of rambling, let's get this video going. I am talking too freaking much.
Sometimes I find the most terrifying videos might take a moment for the fear to set in, but when it does, it hits twice as hard. Number 11. A YouTuber named Sean Daywood is playing outside with his younger friend Ryan when a stranger comes out of the woods, and instead of ordering them off of her property, she demands they come closer to her. Here, she holds onto Ryan's arm and pulls him in. When he tries to resist her grip, a much larger man comes out of the woods and backs up his wife. Then the woman turns around and simply says, "Come on," as if she expects Sean to follow. When he says no, she makes it clear that she will take him by force.
What do you mean no? You want to fight yet?
Sean tries to assert his right to leave, and she tells him that he is basically being held against his will.
We're leaving right now. Come on, Ryan. I'm not leaving.
When she gets within grabbing distance, Sean feels completely overwhelmed, and he and Ryan run. Who even knows what these adults were up to, or if they were even the property owners in the first place?
They are pervs.
For all we know, they could have been random strangers looking to do who knows what in the middle of the woods. Number 10. These paranormal investigating YouTubers travel to a movie theater in Seguin, Texas, to take their chances with the ghost of a girl who repeatedly scratches the staff at random. It isn't long before they hear not footsteps, but rather a single footstep, which is somehow even more unnatural and unnerving. Listen and watch. No one else is around.
I've come here to communicate with whoever lives here.
They keep hearing and seeing things that aren't quite showing up on camera. Short flashes of movement out of the peripheral vision that go away when they try to look. But this part, taken in the back right of the theater at 7 minutes in a section where they keep hearing most of the noise, seems to show someone in the seats looking back at them.
Man, there's some serious creaking going on these steps right here.
The face has no detail, even though these are good quality cameras with night vision, and the head looks nearly see-through, almost like the after image of someone who can only exist through sheer willpower and nothing more. Number 9. A YouTube channel called Finsk Dashcam is simply a collection of videos from a person's drive to and from work. One upload has thousands more views than any other because of how creepy it is, and also because it's difficult to come up with a satisfying way to explain it. So Finsk is driving to work when someone forces him to the other lane. As he's getting closer, he discovers it's an older woman standing in his lane. She remains suspended in this position and does not so much as turn her head to acknowledge him.
That's kind of
creepy. In fact, we
creepy.
never see her face at all. Does she even have one? Light snow covers the cars, but does not cover her, so she could have not been standing here for long. Still, it is very cold out, and yet not once do I see any indication of her breath. Is she alive? A ghost? Fisk slows down, and I want to say he helps her, but the video ends before we get a chance to really see. This was made in 2017, and no update has been provided, so I guess what happened next will have to stay a mystery. Number 8. A ghost investigation video from Oregon, while admittedly grainy and out of focus, nonetheless captures two
So that was kind of like, you know, cringy, creepy, if that makes sense. Not really like, oh my God, but it was like, you know, like, I get it, it's snow, you don't want to be walking. She's an old lady, so she has her, like, you know, they wear their dresses, her long coat, her scarf, you know, to cover her hair. But you see a car, why you like, you know, with nothing. I don't know. What do you comment below? Let me know what y'all think, cause I don't know. But like so far, it's not scary. It's just like, ooh, eerie.
Possibly paranormal instances that are worth analyzing. The first is a brief materialization of a shirt or tunic against the wall. From this floating clothing item, a phantom person emerges. Barely noticeable are the head, nose, and 2 eyes. Then again, this could be wavy details caused by motion blur, but motion blur does not explain the glowing white eyes that briefly flicker at 11 seconds into the video and quickly go away. I don't care how poor the camera quality is, whatever this is, in my opinion, it should not be there, and yet it is. Number 7. This mysterious CCTV video, taken from a warehouse belonging to a company called Party Packs, shows a stalker having all of his hard work undone in a matter of seconds when some items randomly fly off the shelf, which then begins to shake on its own. Nearby boxes almost fly into his face when he bends down to retrieve the fallen items. It could just be a string.
And you gonna get up on a ladder?
Some
Are you
kind
dumb?
of tall figure standing just beyond the boxes just after it happens. Something is definitely moving its head here at the 36-second mark. After the stalker runs away, we get to see down the other side of the aisle from a different camera. That's when a transparent person briefly appears wearing a long robe that touches the floor. Perhaps the same figure that appeared behind the boxes before. The camera malfunctions, and when it comes back, we see them again in the static, much closer this time, studying the camera curiously before it breaks entirely.
Nope.
The company would stop uploading for 7 years shortly after this video was made, so perhaps they really were scared out of business and recently reacquired. Number 6. This video, taken by a paranormal investigator named Daryl James Godsey in an 1800s California graveyard, might capture the ghost of a child as it rises from its resting place. Daryl sets up the motion camera and gives it a test by waving his arms.
Why
as
are
he
you
does
out
so,
there by
a long
yourself?
anomaly appears briefly and disappears. Notice how its odd shape seems to connect all the way down to its tombstone, if only ever so briefly, and then it's gone. It might simply be the image of a bug flying close to the lens, but literally 1 second after it's gone, this paranormal detection equipment lights up as soon as it leaves the frame. Are these two back-to-back events pure coincidence, or absolutely paranormal? You tell me. Number 5. John T. Taylor TV documents an old abandoned house from the late 90s that is in a total state of disrepair. There's no saving this house, but there also
Just
may
time
be
to knock that
spirits
shit
inside who have
down.
no interest in being saved as well. As he takes a final look from outside, John T. Taylor records what could be 2 pairs of eyes staring at him from behind a desk and collapsed section of wall. Are these really eyes looking from deeper within, or could they be a series of tiny holes in the far wall with pinpricks of light shining through? I think I might see the bottom set of eyes blink at the 4-minute and 46-second mark, so I think I might have the answer. He turns around, goes back to civilization from where he came from, none the wiser about this potentially up-and-close and personal chance encounter with the other side. Number 4. This California newscast captures 2 anchors who have to try to remain calm during a quake that was 8.3 on the Richter scale. I think they are probably worried about one of the heavy stage lights coming down on them, which were most likely wobbling pretty badly overhead.
Give us a brief moment here. We're making sure that nothing is going to come down in the studio here.
Their professionalism is put to
Very.
the
I
test
couldn't do
as
that,
they
y'all.
force themselves to remain as calm as possible, given the circumstances. There's only a slight tremor in one of their voices as she comes to the realization that her final moments might be aired to thousands at home.
Experiencing very strong shaking. I think we need to get under the desk. All right, we're going to go to break. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. Wow.
The
Y'all,
camera is
she
shaking out of control
she got
as they
down.
come to break. One of them taking a final worried look at the lights above. The other already well undercover. Everyone made it out okay, but I really hope the stage crew checked for any loose screws before putting them back under those lights again. Number 3. So let me ask you a question. What could possibly be creepier than a large gathering of mannequins carefully positioned inside of classic cars
That is so
to
creepy.
look real from a distance, each
Yeah.
one with a realistic expression, ranging from pensive to pleasantly surprised? How about 20 seconds into the video, when you see that this already strange scene is literally across from a cemetery? It's apparently a vintage car exhibit that was set up by a former gas station owner in Missouri. But as I look at this taxi driver with large animal ears and a faraway look in his eyes sitting next to his bony partner, I can only wonder what the overall meaning of this is, if any, or why anyone would want to stay
Why
long
would
enough
they
to
go
try
through
and
that?
figure it all out. Number 2. This truck was supposed to be a gift for Christmas, but it
Aw.
only seems to move by itself and refuses to take orders. Orbs fly by here at the 54-second mark as we shift our focus to the useless remote control, which sits discarded on the counter.
That shit's moving on its own, y'all.
A toy truck moving by itself is definitely weird, but what happens next seems like way too much of a coincidence to be completely random. I know that my audience is evenly split on the subject of orbs, with half believing they are paranormal and the other half.
What do y'all think about orbs? Okay, so I'm like, you know, I look at it in so many ways. Like sometimes I think it's like a dust bunny or something, and it could be like a glimpse of light. I don't know. With orbs, it's so hard for me to like smack down, be like, yeah, that's what I think. What do y'all think? Comment below, let me know. How do y'all feel about orbs? Do y'all think that is iffy as well, or what?
Certain they are just dust. I still haven't decided what the answer is for myself.
Yeah.
But it's videos like this one, where an orb just so happens to fly over the object as soon as it's mentioned, that really makes me wonder what's going on here. Before we get to number one, my name is Chills, and if you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. I recently released the number 15 mixtape, but I don't think you should follow these instructions to check it out. It's a proven fact that generosity makes you a happier person, so if you're generous enough to hit the subscribe button and the bell beside it, then thank you. Also, don't forget I upload a new video here on YouTube every Thursday and Saturday. Number 1. A paranormal investigator named Jeff Stetick's world walks into an abandoned house through a door that was kicked open long ago. An old woman once lived here, and all of her possessions are still inside, mostly various clothing items and trinkets, and quite a few photos. He is looking at 2 black and white pictures of a boy, perhaps a grandchild or a son, when he hears a faint sound coming from further down the hall. He detects nothing with his untrained eye, but as his camera adjusts to the darkness, it does pick up a small outline pressed up against the wall. Perhaps the very same boy in the pictures he was just observing. All of this escapes him as he calmly exits, completely unaware of the boy cloaked darkness just one room away. These videos will fill you with dread, fear, and disgust, but above all else, you simply shouldn't have watched any.
Anyway, thank y'all again. Thank you again. If you have not already, please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to comment, share, and like. Let me know what you think about these videos. I again am constantly posting. So yeah, well, I am so happy to get that out the way. You know what? That was it was like it wasn't the way it wasn't what I was expecting. I'm gonna put it like that. Like some of them was like, ooh, but on the other hand, it was like really. But anyway, until next video, y'all take care, have a blessed one, stay precious, stay safe, love you all, peace.